Joining me in studio is Danny Colzo, and joining us from New York, please welcome Graham McMillan. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, first off, you look amazing. How you feeling?
You too.
Well, no, I didn't get a transplant. Listen, I mean, this is whirlwind for you. Take me through, when did you learn that it was inevitable that you would need this transplant?
Sure, yeah. So when I was in high school, I went to try to donate blood, and they told me I couldn't because I was anemic. And so what I did with that is I took it back to my parents, told them what was going on, and they kind of took me to a kidney doctor local, and then we went up to the Mayo Clinic and we did some biopsies, and they just found out that I had something called Alport syndrome. And that is basically a genetic condition I inherited from my mom, which she does not show the dominant trait, but I do because I only have one X chromosome. So
Graham, as one of Danny's closest friends, what was going through your mind, I imagine, as you first noticed the change in his body? As I understand, everyday things became a little more difficult for you. Watching him go through that, what was that like?
Man, you know, Danny was, he was a lot thinner than he is now. You know, after I gave him the kidney, he actually became more handsome, which is interesting. You know, a little bit of me and him, just kidding. And, you know, when I met him before in college, you could see kind of weight loss over the kind of time period I knew him. But a little bit of yellowing of the skin. And I think Danny was just a really positive person. He didn't really show a lot in terms of emotions, but certainly his body, you could tell as we did little trips together that, you know, something was wrong, that something needed to change in his life.
Danny, so for perspective for people to understand, again, how bad things had gotten, your kidneys were at a 7% functionality. Someone at that state would likely be placed on dialysis, but you were holding out hope for a donor. What made you hold out hope?
I was at a point in my life where I was just incredibly blessed with a large network of people who really loved me, and I didn't deserve any of it. But there was a list I'd kind of compiled over my years at college of guys that would just jokingly be like, you know, they'd hear about my condition, that it was going to eventually need a transplant, and they're like, hey, you know, if you ever need one, just give me a call. When I was originally diagnosed, I was told I wouldn't need a transplant to fix anything until I was like 40 years old.
And how old are you now? How old
I
were
was
you?
23 when I got my transplant. And so I started going through that list a little prematurely, and some were surprised when they got the call. But those are guys that are really dear to me, and my brother-in-law got tested as well, and things just weren't working out as far as matching goes.
So you're making the call, and nobody's matching up.
Yeah, I had a few siblings test, and they weren't able to donate. My brother-in-law, a couple friends, and then Graham was actually the 7th person. I started with my siblings and kind of went from
So Graham
there.
is lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7, absolutely.
So Graham, you got tested, and then you found out that you were lucky number 7. What made you ultimately decide to go through with it?
Yeah, you know, my wife and I prayed a lot, and then we sat down and just kind of came to realize that 2,000 years ago, there was a guy who gave his entire life for us. And so giving away a spare tire seemed like an easy jump comparatively. I think that was our main motivating factor, that a man would die a gruesome death for us to bring us back into relationship with him. And therefore, man, I'm going to lay down my life for somebody that I love dearly, just as he did for me.
Oh, my goodness. You got me with that one. And joining us in studio is Danny's wife, Grace, and Graham's wife, Claire, is joining us now on Skype as well. Before we went to the break, Graham, I still got to ask you about that moment that you surprised Danny when you walked into the hospital with the sign in hand. I mean, how did you come up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty punny, but I tried to think of a good phrase, but you know, I don't think I realized the emotion behind it. I think I only tried to put myself in Danny's shoes as much as I could, but then when I saw his reaction, it was a unbelievable moment, really an unbelievable moment. I think all that leading up to it, I'm glad we captured it. I didn't think about videoing it until like 5 minutes before.
It is so cute. So Claire, I heard that Graham sprung this on you. That it was kind of a surprise to you too.
Yes, it sure was. He
That's
came
a heck
home
of a
one night,
surprise.
like, by the way, I've decided to sign up to donate my kidney. And I was like, okay, here we go.
That was your
Not
answer?
It really was, yeah.
You are a sweetheart. Listen, you are a saint. Well, Danny, you said that your new kidney certainly has given you a new lease on life. Before us now is the woman you fell in love with, Grace. You met at a fundraiser?
Yes. So my friend actually works for the National Kidney Foundation, and she asked some of her friends, which was me and some other girls, to go volunteer that night at the fundraiser, and had never really had a connection with National Kidney Foundation or organ transplants or anything like that, but decided to go that night and help set up and check people in and clean up, and that's where I ended up meeting Danny.
You met Grace at the fundraiser, Danny. It's been, what, 5 years now?
5 years.
When you look at that, you have the love of your life in Grace and that you're healthy. I mean, how do you explain it? Because it was really his decision, but you benefited from it.
Oh, no doubt. It's really hard to explain the impact that Graham's had on my life. You know, people ask, what's it done to our friendship? And you really can't explain it. It's just created like an incomparable bond between us. I feel incredible, way better than I did before. I've been able to do things like train and run a half marathon. I've been blessed through random chance to just be able to meet my wife at a National Kidney Foundation event, things that never would have happened if Graham didn't take the extent he did to tell me, which was a little overdone. And he should have just called me like he said he would. But it all worked out for the best.
It did. Well, Graham, I know that part of the reason that you continue to talk about this and share the story is that you do want to inspire people living organ donation and understand and see it very differently than often it's discussed.
Totally, yeah. I mean, no greater love than this, that someone would lay down their life for their friends. And actually, I know it sounds crazy, but organ donation is a beautiful thing, and it really isn't as costly as it sounds. I think a lot of people don't realize what they have and what they can do for others. And while we can, we might as well make those decisions. You know, I think even if it's not an organ, let's lay down our lives to just walk someone across the street, or let's lay down our lives to live that way. You know, I feel like it's important.
It changes the course of your day when you do something good for someone else. I mean, you did something great for someone else, but just a little thing of opening the door helps out. And I think that is so important. Well, listen, Danny shared a little secret with us. I hope you're okay, because he told us that you and Claire are expecting a baby boy. They told us this? Yeah. In December, nonetheless. That's right around the corner. It'll be your second baby. And Danny really wanted to repay you for this. I mean, to call this an act of kindness is putting it small. And so we at the Tan Fam love a good baby surprise, and we love babies. That's why I have one. And we wanted to surprise you both with something, things that I love to welcome your new baby into this world, things that I'm walking over here to show you. Things that I use in my home, and I love giving gifts of things that I actually like. So, because of Danny and Grace, we heard you needed a stroller. So our friends at Baby Zen want you to have their Yo-Yo 2. I'm obsessed with this, and I have one. It is an ultra-compact, lightweight stroller and bassinet that goes everywhere. It fits anywhere in overhead storage, on a bus, or just on a walk to the park. I love this thing. Now, we also have for you Bumble. They wanted to give you their baby bundle complete with the bamboo 3D knit bouncer. That's the first bouncer that goes from child, newborn to 5 years old, and the pop-up booster seat. If you look on my Instagram, my son is actually in this booster seat. It is an ultra-light portable booster that opens in the blink of an eye and folds completely flat, so you have no excuse to leave them at home when you go to dinner, because this fits right in the seat. And when he's finally fast asleep, I'm not kidding, if you ever see me with my phone, I'm usually looking at this product because it's in my child's room, the Nanit. You know the Nanit. It has you covered with their Pro Complete baby monitoring system. It has everything from the camera and mount to a breathing band that actually tracks his sleep, and a smart sheet that allows you to measure your child without wrestling them at the pediatric office. Now, and you cannot have a baby without the number one thing, diapers. So Hello Bello wants you to have a year's supply of diapers and wipes for your new bundle of joy. Thank you. I am telling you, I am obsessed with this entire table, and it's made my life better. So Graham, Claire, Danny, Grace, thank you so much for being here today. I got to tell you, our theme song for this season's promo was "Thank You for Being a Friend." This is friendship just out of this world. So bless you all, and thank you so much.